Hey, Scott Machine Gun Dad. Recently we did an AR-180 video, and we're going to do some more AR-180 videos. So I think Nick's going to become an AR-180 fan like me. And one of the things when you have an AR-180, when you have an original one, you need a special magazine. And I've got various versions of the AR-Armalite mags on the table in front of us. We're going to go through them, but the reason I want to show them to you is how I got, I'd say, a third of these is they were mismarked on auction sites as AR-15 magazines. So instead of spending $175, I spent 20 bucks. This is an original Armalite magazine. On the bottom it says Armalite Incorporated. Therefore, people know it's worth a ton of money. People will probably not mistake these for AR-15 magazines. This is an original military 20 for an AR-15. As you can see, they're about the same, right? AR-180 cut? Nope. No cut on the back. AR-15 has an AR-15 cut, no cut for a 180. So if I flip them over, you'll see here's the 180 cut. I flip them over this way, I have the 15 cut. The chances of you finding one of these mismarked are 0. But you should be aware there's two different base plates. One says Armalite, one says AR-18. There's two different colors. One's in black, one's in gray. This one says AR-18 on it. So these usually were the ones that came with, in my experience, the later commercial guns. The earlier guns had the parkerized ones, and the full auto gun I got had several parkerized magazines with it. So if you find one of these for a good deal, buy it. If you have 180, you won't. You won't find for a good one. That's what this video, this is what the video is about. First of all, this is an original Armalite AR-180 mag. If you notice, it's actually cut on both sides. I put an aluminum follower in it out of the 20, but it's unmarked on the bottom. These are like hen's teeth, they're almost impossible to find. But this one was marked as an AR-15 bin in the blowout bin in a local gun shop for $2. They thought it was just a generic unmarked AR-15 magazine. So, got 180, look for these. 30 rounder, cut for a hole. On both sides, no marking. They would have factory would have a black plastic follower. All right? Especially on auction sites. These are the ones where you're going to make your killings. These are Sterlings. These were made by Sterling of England for the Sterling version of the AR-180. There are 5 or 6 aftermarket companies like USA. Can you think of every junk company that ever made magazines? USA, Pro Mag, whatever. They made AR-15 mags that have these drain holes in them. So people will look at this and say, oh my God, it's just a Pro Mag piece of shit AR-15 mag. $1, $2, $3. Well, it's a 40 rounder, so $10. On the bottom, they say Sterling. So when you're spooling through the high bid, through the 400,000 magazine listings that are on there, under AR-15, and you see one of these, and you see 2 holes. One for the AR-15, and one for the AR-180. Try to see if you can find a picture of the bottom of the magazine, because if it says Sterling, $135 magazine, you might pick it up for $20, $25. What's funny is, these are more common than the 30. A Sterling 30 is outrageously expensive because they didn't make a lot of them. And there's even a Sterling 20, which I've been collecting a long time and I don't even have one, so that's how hard they are to come by. But they're on the auction sites. Point of the video. I know Nick doesn't get to talk much. It's really hard to keep old guns running. It's really hard to find parts for old guns. And a lot of guys will say, oh, let's just take an AR-15 mag and cut a slot in it. Yeah, for a range mag, that's okay. But, I mean, you've got a $2,500 to $3,500 antique, really collectible gun. I don't know, if you've got a really nice old Ferrari, are you going to put retreads on it? I wouldn't. So that's a good way. This is a really good, and it's kind of fun. You're kind of bored. You're tired of watching Rachel Maddow on MSNBC. I watch her all the time. Yeah, well, that's why I'm crazy.
That explains a lot.
No, I don't watch her all the time. I usually end up throwing items at the TV. But
No wonder you have so many TVs.
yeah, it makes the hobby more fun. Part of the fun of the hobby is finding shit. Going to a gun store or a gun. I was just at a gun show and their guy had a box of magazines. He didn't even know what was in it, and you get to root through it, and maybe you'll find a treasure. This is a way to find a treasure for a specific gun. There are some other things I real quick want to cover. These. Okay, this one's got my name engraved on it because this was one I used with my patrol rifle. These are surplus mags from Singapore. The AR-180 part sets that were brought in had this particular magazine with it. Okay, they are factory cut for the AR-18. They have the lower back shelf, and they are factory cut for the AR-18. They are aluminum. They work flawlessly. Now I've upgraded all these with Magpul followers because they were from my patrol rifle. Also, these are a little harder to come by. These are cut for Ultimax Mark 2s and 3s, AR-15s, and AR-180s, all from Singapore. You will find these at surplus shows. Nobody wants them because they're cut and they think these two holes will weaken them. But this is a factory mag for the AR-18. It will run flawlessly. Find these, buy them. Got somebody who bought one of those part sets. The SAR-80 uses a standard M16 mag. Trade them 2P mags for one of these. And now you have an actual AR-18 mag for your original AR-180. And there's one other thing. There is a company, and I don't know what the name of the company is, but they make a magazine that looks just like this. But stamped on the bottom is AR-15/M16, AR-M16, AR-15/AR-180, and it has this cut. They are absolute garbage. People want $65, $75 for them. I've got 8 of them. None of them work. Not one. Won't work in an AR-15, won't work in a 180. They are just complete crap. Look for the originals. Yeah, you got a $2,500 gun. I wouldn't want to spend $200 for one of these or $150. I just saw one at the gun show for $175. Guy had 4 or 5 of them. But I'll spend an hour and a half on high bid when I'm watching TV looking for one for $25. It's not a super important video. I just wanted to tell you. Now I got Nick shooting 180s. Here's a tip how to get magazines for a 180. Thanks for coming to the channel.